Welcome to CineMyles, the show for cinephiles. I'm your host, Miles Hughes. I'm joined tonight by Matt and John, and we just saw A Monster Calls, which is all about a 12-year-old boy whose mum is dying of cancer and whose grandmum is dying from a terrible British accent. Damn it. Half of that is true. I'll let you discern which half. His turmoil over this whole thing is so great that he imagines or is possibly actually visited by a giant tree monster voiced by Liam Neeson in full-on Aslan mode.
The technical term is Ent. He's an Ent.
Yeah, he pretty much is, actually.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I felt the entire movie.
Yeah. Okay, well, Matt, let me ask you, because you're big into concepts and designs and monster things. Before we get into the movie itself, how would you grade this monster overall?
Like, design or execution? Like
both.
The design overall was gorgeous. The when he's revealed a few different times when he comes, he starts off as an actual yew tree and then breaks out of it, and the reveal of that is actually really cool to watch him just sort of wake up and pull things off of him, like, all right, I can't be a tree anymore, time to be this guy. And the CGI for him is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but...
Well, getting into the film itself, I would say it is a visual marvel. It's really stunningly shot and very well directed. It comes to us from J.A. Bayona, who previously did The Orphanage and The Impossible, which are both fantastic and definitely worth checking out if you haven't. He's moving on from this to do the sequel to Jurassic World, so, you know...
It'll also have Liam Neeson voicing a T-Rex.
Voicing a T-Rex. Well, it'll be like the one in Jurassic Park 3. Alan! Well, I liked the film a lot more than I was expecting to. I think I was expecting it to be more emotionally manipulative than it was, especially after having recently seen Manchester by the Sea, which everyone's throwing all this praise at, and I'm just sitting here like, I feel like you want me to cry, but you're not getting it from me. And here... like, it did get to me almost through attrition, because there's a handful of like build up to the big dramatic scenes that don't quite land, and then they finally get to that last one and you're like, okay, fine, movie, you win.
Because it just wants to tap you closer and closer to the cliff because the big push is coming.
Yeah.
It's like, we want to get you ready to cry. We know you're not gonna yet. And there it is!
And it works, to the film's credit.
And it's fine, good acting in that scene.
Yes.
That really destroys your soul.
Absolutely.
I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I thought the beginning took a little while to get where it was going, maybe to get off the ground. And then, even after the introduction of the monster, the first story, I liked the story, but it felt a little bit to me like the movie was using the plot as a vehicle to show off really good animation.
The sort of framing device that the monster uses is that he's going to tell Connor these 3 stories that will sort of have this meaning, which... they kind of do. It's a kind of loosey-goosey. But the first 2, at least, are told through these beautiful, like, watercolor mixed with CG, sort of elaborate animated sequences that, to your point, are sort of so gorgeous to look at that you almost feel like the stories themselves wouldn't be that interesting if not for all the impressive animation.
Well, it to me felt like someone saw like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and saw the animation for the Three Brothers tale and then was like, let's make a movie around that. And then they were like, well, we can't make the entire movie this, so we'll make a movie that lets us make that.
The core of the movie is, of course, this kid coming to terms with the fact that his mom is dying of cancer, and sort of the anger and rage that's been building up inside of him, and him trying to come to terms with his grief. So it's a very emotional movie, and it sort of uses this more fantastical aspect of the monster, who may or may not be real. It's kind of implied for the longest time that he's imagining it, but also a couple of things happen that make you feel like it's not just in his head. One thing that I thought was really effective about this film was how three-dimensional all the side characters were. I mean, you got Felicity Jones, who's, you know, the mum who's sort of relegated to being stuck in bed and crying and looking sick. But, like, Sigourney Weaver is the grandma. Her accent is unfortunate, but in any other movie that would be just sort of the nasty grandmother who, like, you have to go live with now and everything is pristine and in its exact right place. But, like, she loved her daughter and, like, there was more to her than just sort of being a nasty grandma.
Like at the beginning of the film, her hair is very nice. She has the nice clothes on, but as it progresses, you really start seeing what the stress of all this happening, her daughter dying, is doing to her. Her hair gets flat. you see no makeup whatsoever. Just, to me, it made an impact. And
For sure.
Well, and the movie does a very fantastic job of showing you that not only does the person who has the sickness get sick, but the people around them, it affects them too, in a physical way as well.
Toby Kebbell plays the dad who's sort of off living in America now with his new family, and it isn't really connected to anything, but tries to come back and visit and be supportive. He is ineffectual, but at the same time, you can see that he's trying.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bully, there's a weird undercurrent of like
sexual tension.
Yeah, you kind of feel like the bully's into him, and like there's sort of a repressed homosexuality thing going on.
And that's why he's taking it out on Connor in the first place. He's like, I don't know if I feel these feelings, and as he goes towards the end, he tells Connor, you're invisible to me, not because he's being mean to him, but because he's like, okay, you represent all the things that are bad, because maybe I grew up in a religious household or something. And I think they reached the right level, because there were times when he like stared at him and then leaned in a little bit like, you better not kiss him.
Yeah, there was definitely a few almost kisses.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. It's not like something that like you may think like, oh, we're looking too far into it. It's definitely I feel like it's very intentional. There's one moment where like they're beating on him, and one of his friends like punches the lead in the face, and he says, hey, you can't do that, I'm the only one, we have an agreement, I'm the only one who gets to touch.
Yeah, the main kid, Lewis McDougal, which is one of the most European names I've ever heard, he is fantastic.
Oh, he's super fantastic.
You can see so much anguish in his face and so much repressed rage that sort of the film is all about sort of slowly letting him exercise that and get it out of his system. There's kind of a weird message happening as far as, it's okay to break literally everything if you're feeling sad because your mom's dying. And I don't know that that's true. He has virtually no consequences.
He says, want to be punished? Well, what's the use in that? And then he does something again. Want to be punished? What's the use in that? It's said twice.
Yeah.
By two different characters.
It's strange that that's the note that the film wants to leave. The bigger thing is that grief is okay and that it's important.
Well, I think that's what it means. It's okay. Maybe they don't mean it literally. They mean it metaphorically. If you are upset, you can break.
A good movie that I don't need to see again. This isn't something that I'll like buy on DVD and watch again, but I would recommend seeing it. It's definitely a good movie.
I think I might have liked it a teensy bit more than you guys, especially because I went in kind of hearing some divisive things and was expecting to sort of be a little put off by it, but for the most part I was with it. I thought it was very well directed. So A Monster Calls, check it out. Thank you for watching CineMyles. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things. Thank you for joining me, Matt and John. And we will see you all on the flip side. Have a good night.
Bye.